Okay, PD3, it's only 1 month away, and so here is another video, and this time it's about the written part, because in this exam there are different parts, and one of them is that you have to argue your case, and pros and cons, and why do you think this, and conclusions, and so on. There are many different topics, but there are certain words and phrases that are just always useful. So we're going to look at that today. And yes, you read the title. There's going to be an announcement at the end. So stay tuned. All right. So the first one, I didn't put translation because, come on, you need the challenge. It's almost exam time. You got to get used to this. Okay. So, hvem har ansvaret for de ældre? Okay, who's responsible for the elder or elderly? I Danmark er det primært staten, der har ansvaret for at passe de ældre. Nogle mener dog, at de pårørende, familien, bør hjælpe meget mere til i hverdagen, mens andre mener, at det er en opgave for det professionelle sundhedsvæsen. Okay, so when you look at this, right, it's basically setting the stage here. You know, in Denmark, it's the state that's sort of helping the old people, you know, getting their needs met, taking care of them. But there are some who believe that maybe the families should pitch more in or, you know, carry the load, so to speak. Right? So that's what we're going to talk about in this one. You have to kind of argue for and against. Diskutere fordele og ulemper. Yes, already here, this is super key for basically any topic. So discuss pros and cons. Ikke? Fordele og ulemper. Ved at familien tager et større ansvar. By the family taking a bigger responsibility. Giv din egen mening til kende. So basically, like, let your own opinion be heard, or be known. It's a very formal way of saying it. Giv til kende. But it's good because you want to be a little bit advanced when you're doing this. Alright, cool. So let's read bit by bit. Some I translate, and the ones that are marked in bold, they're more important, and let's just take it bit by bit. Helt grundlæggende lever vi i et samfund, hvor vi forventer, at det offentlige tager sig af de svageste. Alright, so if we look at this, helt grundlæggende, I mark this. It's because it means basically or fundamentally. Helt, completely, totally, grundlæggende, basically. Because grund is ground and lægge, so you lay the ground, fundamentally, the foundation. Helt grundlæggende. This is a good one. You want to establish the base. Lever vi i et samfund, we live in a society, hvor vi forventer, where we expect, at det offentlige tager sig af de svageste, that the public, the state, takes care of the weakest. Men i takt med, at vi bliver flere ældre, er presset på plejehjemmene vokset betydeligt. And now this is interesting. I didn't mark anything, but still, i takt med is basically as, and like as this is happening, then this other thing. Like, so one thing leading to another, because takt is like rhythm, and like tact. I takt med. Okay, so more people getting old, there's more pressure on the homes for the old people. Okay, det har ført til en debat om, hvorvidt familien skal spille en mere aktiv rolle i plejen af deres forældre og bedsteforældre. Alright, so now debat is of course a debate. That's pretty easy, right? But det har ført til is like it has led to, like it has brought about this thing. Det har ført til en debat om, it has led to a debate about something, right? So it's good. This is also something you can expect to see in something more advanced, and maybe you also want to use it when you're writing your skriftlige opgave. Hvorvidt familien skal spille en mere aktiv rolle, whether the family should play a more active role, i plejen af deres forældre og bedsteforældre. So i plejen, that of course in the caretaking, pleje. Forældre, parents, bedsteforældre, grandparents. Okay. Hvis man ser på fordelene, er det en væsentlig faktor, at øget samvær med familien kan mindske ensomhed blandt ældre. Alright, so look at that. Hvis man ser på fordelene, hvis man ser, if you're looking at the benefits, or the pros, hvis man ser på fordelene, er det en væsentlig faktor at, so we mark this one. factor is of course a factor, ikke? Væsentlig, significant. It is a significant factor that. So you want to show that something makes an impact, that there's a real difference because of this. Det er en væsentlig faktor at something something. Ikke? En væsentlig faktor at. Øget samvær, increase like togetherness, time spent. Med familien, okay, that's easy, kan mindske ensomhed blandt ældre. Can reduce loneliness among elders. Ja, alright. So this one. Det viser sig ofte, at livskvaliteten stiger, når de ældre har en tættere kontakt til deres børn og børnebørn. Alright, so this first one. Det viser sig ofte. Nej. Det viser sig ofte. You know what, guys? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Alright, that's better, I think. Okay, for now it's fine. Det viser sig ofte. Right? So this is basically like, it often shows, or it often turns out. Right? Det viser sig ofte. It is often the case that. At livskvaliteten stiger, life quality is increasing, rising. Når de ældre har, when the elderly have, en tættere kontakt, closer contact, til deres børn og børnebørn, ikke? Children and grandchildren. Ydermere bør man overveje, very good, at de pårørende kender den ældres personlige ønsker og behov bedre end de travle medarbejdere i kommunen. Now this is a long piece, but don't be scared. So ydermere is also a very useful word. It basically means furthermore. Right? You argued one thing and then you're piling on top of that. You're piling on top of it, adding more. Ydermere bør man overveje. One should consider and contemplate. At overveje. Ydermere bør man overveje. Very good. At de pårørende, so pårørende basically family, kender den ældres personlige ønsker. Know the elderly, like one person, personal wishes, og behov and needs, bedre end de travle medarbejdere, better than the busy employees, i kommunen, ikke? Municipality, i kommunen, right? Når det er sagt, so good, når det er sagt, er der også mange udfordringer ved denne model. Så når det er sagt, is very good, because you have to remember that when you're arguing a case, it's not just like I'm pro this, and this is all the good stuff about it, we're going to ignore the bad sides. Right? So når det er sagt means with that being said, or that being said. Literally when that is said. We already said this, but there might be some counter-argument. Er der også mange udfordringer? There are also many challenges ved denne model. About this model. Yeah, whoops. Pointen er bare, at de fleste voksne danskere i dag er på arbejdsmarkedet og har svært ved at finde tid til ekstra plejeopgaver. That's long. Take a second to look at it. Okay, so if we have this in, pointen er bare. Now, of course, pointen is the point. Pointen er bare. The point is just. And this is very good. And people also say this in normal conversation. Like if they're arguing about something, not like a fight, but just like, well, you know, it's just that. Pointen er bare. The point is just that. At de fleste voksne danskere, most adults, Danish adults, i dag er på arbejdsmarkedet. They're in the labor force or work market, whatever we call labor market, og har svært ved at finde tid, and have a hard time finding the time, difficulty finding the time, til ekstra plejeopgaver. So like extra caretaking, opgave is task. So det ændrer ikke på at, it doesn't change the, I'm too fast, at pleje af syge ældre kræver professionelle kompetencer, som almindelige mennesker ikke besidder. Now, so this one, right, I was kind of excited to say it, and that's because det ændrer ikke på is, it doesn't change the fact that, right, with the at. Det ændrer ikke på at something. So although there might be counter arguments, this still remains the case or the final conclusion. Right? Det ændrer ikke på. Exactly. Det ændrer ikke på, at pleje at syge ældre, caretaking, nursing of sick elderly, kræver professionelle kompetencer, requires professional kompetencer, ikke? So think about that kompetence, ikke? You can guess it. Som almindelige mennesker ikke besidder. That normal, regular, ordinary people don't possess. Ikke? Besidder. Konsekvensen kan være, at både de pårørende og de ældre ender med at blive overbelastet og frustreret. So konsekvensen kan være, it's kind of easy, but if you can say it correctly, like these three words together, it's gonna make you sound better, like, or look better, since this is written assignment. Konsekvensen kan være, the consequence could be like a potential consequence. It's not guaranteed, but it might be. At både de pårørende og de ældre, both the family and the elderly, ender med at blive overbelastet, end up getting overbelastet, like overburdened, like belastning, like a burden or too much load, like just so much to carry. Og frustrerede, and frustrated, of course. Very nice. Got something here. Det korte af det lange er, at vi ikke kan overlade hele ansvaret til familien. So it's kind of short. Så det korte af det lange, right? And that's basically like long of short, short of the long. Like in summary, in short, er at vi ikke kan overlade. We cannot leave, like leave it up to someone, like just delegate. Overlade hele ansvaret til familien. The entire whole responsibility to the family. Det er en balancegang mellem den professionelle hjælp og den familiære omsorg. Så det er en balancegang, let's move it a bit. Det er en balancegang, ikke? It's a balancing act, an act of balancing, almost like the art of doing it, right? Det er en balancegang. So between the professional help, ikke? Mellem den professionelle hjælp og den familiære omsorg, ikke? Familiar caring, nurturing, whatever. Set i det lys, seen in that light, like set i det lys. That's also very nice to say, like, well, looking at it in that light, we might believe this. Right? Set i det lys, mener jeg personligt. What's that? Mener jeg personligt. So like, I personally believe, like, mener jeg personligt, at staten stadig skal bære hovedansvaret. That the state should still carry the main responsibility, like hovedansvaret. Men at vi som samfund skal skabe bedre rammer for, here we are, bedre rammer for, right? So we should create better like framework, at familien kan bidrage frivilligt, right? Bidrag is such a good word when you talk about like having relationships, because bidrag means to contribute, right? Frivilligt, like voluntarily, right? Your own volition. Frivilligt. Alright. Se, alt tyder på, at et tættere samarbejde mellem systemet og de pårørende er den bedste vej frem. Alright, very nice. Right? So that's everything indicates, so everything suggests that closer cooperation, like working together between the system and family, is the best way forward, right? So there are many useful things here if you really look at it. There's a lot of stuff to comment on, and so again, I have them here. Det har ført til en debat om, right? That's good, right? So you could say like, it has led to a debate about, right? En væsentlig faktor er, ikke? Significant factor is, pointen er bare, at det ændrer ikke på, at konsekvensen kan være, alt tyder på, at, right? So when you're looking at this is very good, because I understand that as a learner, you cannot just like memorize thousands of words, and especially if they're long and advanced, you're just like, no, that's impossible. True, it is difficult, But what you can do is memorize the particular phrases that are useful in many different contexts, right? Because you see here when they are good to use, right? So it is about knowing what makes a text sound good, and it has to have a sort of professional tone. Like you don't want to start out by saying "jeg synes," and like immediately like, yeah, this is what I think. You have to present the arguments just like you would in any other language. And so there needs to be that opposition. You're presenting both arguments, and of course you should also try to the best of your ability to use vocabulary that is fairly high level. Like if it's fairly high level, it's definitely better. All right, cool. So I have one more, but seeing as how long time it takes to go through one, I don't think we need to do the whole thing as thoroughly. We're just gonna take some value from this other text, right? So this one is about digitalisering skaber ensomhed. Sounds depressing. So we have that. That's the idea. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so that's what it could have been, but actually I decided to go with skal vi arbejde mindre. Like, this is also something that I've talked about myself in a video like a month or two ago. This idea of the 4-day work week, right? So here I'm not gonna translate everything. I'm mostly just gonna focus on the keywords, right? But I'm still gonna read it, just not translate everything. Helt grundlæggende er debatten om arbejdstid blevet meget aktuel de seneste år. Mange føler, at hverdagen er for travl, og at der mangler tid til familien og fritiden. Det har stor betydning for folkesundheden, da stress er et voksende problem i samfundet. Hvis man ser på fordelene, er det en væsentlig faktor, at medarbejdere ofte bliver mere effektive, når de har mere ro. Det viser sig ofte, at man kan nå det samme på 30 timer som på 37, hvis man planlægger bedre. Ydermere bør man overveje, at en kortere arbejdsuge kan give mere overskud og færre sygedage. Når det er sagt, er der også store udfordringer. I mange tilfælde vil virksomhederne få svært ved at få økonomien til at hænge sammen, hvis produktionen falder. Okay. Det er dog værd at nævne, at visse brancher, som for eksempel sundhedssektoren, allerede mangler hænder. Hvis alle arbejder mindre, kan det føre til mangel på arbejdskraft. Det korte af det lange er, at der ikke findes én løsning, der passer til alle. Det er en balancegang mellem økonomisk vækst og menneskelig trivsel. Set i det lys mener jeg personligt, at vi alle bør være mere fleksible. Det behøver ikke at være en lov for alle, men i virkeligheden ville mange have gavn af at gå lidt ned i tid. Okay, so basically, some of these you already saw in the other one. Like, I don't need to explain everything again, though a little bit of repetition doesn't hurt. Right? So, if you look at this, grundlæggende again, fundamentally, stor betydning. It has big significance. This is a very good one. Det har stor betydning, because betyde means mean. Det er det betyder. That's what it means. Betydning, meaning, significance. Okay, det har stor betydning in this case for public health, folkesundheden, like the health of the population. Hvis man ser på fordelene, er det en væsentlig faktor. Oh, there it is again. Significant factor, right? Det viser sig ofte. Remember, it often turns out, it often shows. Ydermere bør man overveje. Once again, furthermore, one should consider. Når det er sagt, that being said. But what is this one? I mange tilfælde. What does this mean? So basically it's in many cases. Ikke? Very direct. I mange tilfælde. This is also good, ikke? Because you acknowledge that you are generalizing a little bit. You're saying that this might not be true for everybody or every company, but it could be true for many. Ikke? I mange tilfælde. It's something that shows you understand nuance in Danish. Det er dog værd at nævne. Yeah, this is very good. Det er dog værd at nævne is basically like, it is however worth mentioning. Ikke? So dog, however, ikke? Det er værd at, it is worth doing something. Det er dog værd at nævne at something. Right? So you can do that because it makes you sound more sophisticated. It makes you sound better. And whether it's the written exam or the verbal exam, like, it's just good. Det er dog værd at nævne. It's a little more formal. Okay. Det korte af det lange er, yeah, we covered that. Okay. So these we don't have to do once more, but we do have this. I virkeligheden. Men i virkeligheden ville mange have gavn af at gå lidt ned i tid. So of course, virkelighed means reality. So i virkeligheden means in reality. Like as things really are. I virkeligheden. Right? So again, this is the kind of thing that it is high level, but that's also where you need to be at, if you want to pass PD3. Then there are some other things you could also say. You could say something like, det er et komplekst emne som. So of course it's a complex subject, which or that. Complex subject, det er et komplekst emne som, because it shows you understand that it's not so simple. Det er et komplekst emne som, and then you have to write something after that. Man må ikke ignorere at. One must not ignore that. It's like, so don't forget that this is also a thing. Man må ikke ignorere at. Der er en tendens til at. Yeah, this is very good. There's a tendency for or towards. Like this is a thing where we see a tendency. Der er en tendens til at. Til at. So it's important, by the way, don't write a tendens for. Maybe you feel it's tempting because of the English, but no. It is tendens til. Ser man på de økonomiske konsekvenser? Ser man på de økonomiske konsekvenser? Of course, looking at the economic consequences. And so it's again taking the perspective of, well, okay, this is something we might like, but what about the economy? Well, it could be good, could be bad. Right? So you start with this, and then of course you have inversion after that. På den lange bane, yeah, this is very nice. This is good for PD3, but it's also just good for regular conversation. Right? In the long run. På den lange bane, because bane is like track. Right? Bane. Den lange bane. Det leder mig videre til, yeah, that one is less essential. Right? So yeah, there is a lot of stuff here. Like, there are so many things where, you really have to remember that the main thing is structure, right? Like, there are several components to this exam. So it's about having indledning, introduction, then argumenter for, like arguments for it, and pros, and then argumenter imod, and cons or counterpoints, and then a conclusion and your own opinion. Like, it's important that you understand the structure of this. Now, of course, this is not the only part that is relevant in this exam. There's also a couple of other things. I mean, just in the written part, there are a few other things. And that is the first half of this big announcement that I'm making today. That is that I just uploaded 9 new videos, brand new videos to danishmastery.com. And so that means that in gold, diamond, and ultimate, you will get 9 videos talking about things in society, writing a letter, basically looking at these more advanced topics. Right? And I try to find a balance. I didn't want to make it super long, but I also want it to be long enough to give you some real value. So it's about 100 minutes. Like, those 9 videos in total last for about 100 minutes. Like a little bit more actually. So I just put those on the website, like danishmastery.com, specifically for you. And like if you are studying for PD3, and that is the stuff. That's where it's at. All right. So that is one half. So you can go and get that right now. And yes, it's of course lifetime access, as always. Now, the other thing is, let's start over here, because I have to change the tabs a few times. You guys probably know that a while ago I made some apps, right? I made one for PD3 and I made another one. Well, now I have put them in 2 tiers. So now it's much easier to get these apps, right? So tier 1 and tier 2. That is what I call them for now. Maybe I'll change the names later. Who knows? So the thing is, there is a limit to how much you can do just by watching videos, right? And therefore, I made these apps. In the first tier, you have find the mistakes, and there's one practice sentence patterns, right? Over here, you have many more. All right. Now, let's take a look. What are these apps that I'm talking about? So you already know this. I think this is PD3 prep, right? And this is, of course, in the second tier. You really want to take it seriously. This whole thing, this whole exam, this is going to help you. Then you have a lot of different text here, and you also have some audio, so you can also listen to it. And then, of course, there are questions to test your knowledge. It doesn't hurt to know a little bit about Danish history or Danish society. Plus, you have all this very advanced vocabulary. And you can also give it your own text essay or something, and then it will give you feedback, right? And actually, there's a second part. And I made like an expansion to the PD3 prep, where you have how many is this? Is like 8, yeah, 8 more text, right? Different topics here, roughly in the same style, but they're a little bit longer. So that's for that. And then you have Danskmester. And now Danskmester you might already know, because I've talked about it before, and recently I updated it. So now you can change the interface to whatever language you want. Now I open the bar right here. I'm not sure if in a live stream it shows it, because sometimes the streaming software doesn't do that. But it basically has, I think we're around 36 different languages here. So most likely your language is covered, which means that the grammatical explanations will be in your language. You know, you don't have to rely on it being in English every time. So that's also pretty cool. As you know, Danskmester is the app that does very deep breakdowns. The vocabulary, the grammar, the sentence patterns, the alternative phrasing is just very, very deep breakdown. Okay, so that one is in tier 2. Then you have this one, find the mistakes. That's the name for now. So this one is pretty straightforward. It's basically just, you know, you have a bunch of text, and then you just go here and you see, oh, okay, these sentences, you know, there are some mistakes, and then you have to correct them, right? You see something's wrong. Han sådan en snu har, right? Because here it is. So you get the feedback immediately. Sometimes the best way to fix your own mistakes is to see someone else, or in this case, an app. So here you have to correct a bunch of mistakes, and it'll take some time. So there's plenty of learning waiting for you here in this app. And yeah, this one is in tier 1. Okay, cool. Over here we have, I call it easy sentence practice. Okay? Now the thing about this one is, now guys, you probably heard me talk about this before. Sentence patterns. Like, instead of thinking about the grammar so deeply, like every single time you have to make a sentence and then you're getting a headache and you're not sure about the word order, what you do is you take Danish sentences that already exist and then you change them. Right? So let's see, what could we look at? So actions, for example, right? Yeah, okay, we're good. Let me zoom in a little bit, make it look better for you. Okay, cool. So in here, so we have something here, something you must reach, okay. And then perhaps there's some other sentences you want to do. Maybe it's something with an adjective or something with a noun or whatever it might be. Det lyder interessant, sounds interesting. Det lyder godt, det lyder dårligt, det lyder slemt. Yeah, I overburdened the system a bit today, but basically, what you get here is the very good practice. You get practice because you already see the structures and you see the word classes. So you don't have to wonder like, oh my God, what about the word order? Where do I put it? Like, that's already taken care of. So all of these are isolated sentences. You don't have to read a very long text. You can just go here and you see all these different categories, okay? And yeah, this is also in tier 1. Tier 1 has this one, and then the one where you fix mistakes, all right? And I believe this one has more than 2,000 patterns. It's kind of crazy, but I designed it that way so you can get a lot of practice with prepositions and verbs and just really see how the grammar works, but in a way that's functional, right? So that's what it's about. Then we have one more, and this is also practice sentence patterns, but I call it like the library. Because what this is, it is basically a huge, just absolutely huge collection of stories, conversations, essays, all kinds of things that I've written over the years. I put in one app, and what you get here is, you click on a sentence. All right? Let's pick the one that's a little more interesting. And so you get the sentence here, and then it's like, oh, okay, you can actually do a breakdown, eh? Or you can do something else. And so, oh yeah, it breaks down the words for you. And then, hvorfor står der en talende gris, a talking pig? Hvorfor står der en talende ko? Now this one is silly, right? But that's the thing. You can read any text you want and practice with whatever you want. I think there's about 125 different texts here, and I guess the total word count is like 100,000 words or something. You get short stories and conversations and monologues. You get more series pieces, also something for PD3. There's just so many things in here, and some of these you might recognize because they're in my videos that I made before. So there's just a lot of things that you can play with here, right? And this one is in tier 2, okay? Now I get that's a lot of information at once, but I mean, I had to give it to you, right? So just to summarize really quickly, in tier 1, you have finding mistakes and the practice sentence patterns, okay? And the sentence patterns that are isolated, okay? No big story, no longer context, just isolated sentences. And in the tier 2, you have those two, of course, and you have Danskmester, like those are the very detailed breakdowns. PD3 Prep, right? So that's, with the text, the questions, the feedback, you can really become familiar with all the advanced stuff. And then the practice sentence patterns library, right? The one that I just showed you. So it is pretty big, and I've been going a little bit crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I spent so much time on this the last couple of months, so I really hope that you'll try this, and I know that once you do, you're going to learn a lot, because as some of you might already know, as I might have told you before, I studied Japanese and Spanish before, and I was like thinking there's something missing. There are some apps that we don't have. But nowadays, with the way technology is, and you know what I'm talking about, then you can make this, as long as you have the vision. So I'm very happy about it. And of course, it is a continuous process. You can always improve apps, and that's also something that I aim to do. For now, 2 of them have sound, one PD3 Prep, and the one that I just showed you with the big library. Those have sounds, the other one don't. But of course, I'm also working on adding that. So it's a big process, and I'm also really looking forward to hearing your feedback. And you can totally tell me if there's something, that you would like to see, another app, or perhaps just something missing in an app. And feedback is always very much valued. What's going on in the hallway? That's life, right? So yeah, those were 2 big announcements, and I did spend a lot of time talking about it. But then again, it's not every day that you drop 9 videos at once and like launch 3 new apps. And now in total, it's 5 apps. So you can go check that out, right? Get the Danish apps. You know what? I'm just gonna put the link in the description, or in the comment section after the live stream ends. So yeah, that's how it is. As always, you can get lifetime access if your main thing is getting the videos, then you can get that, right? It's lifetime access, and then you pay once and you never have to pay again. So that is, of course, a very sweet deal, but I've talked about that so many times, so that's not really the focus point today. The focus is PD3 is coming soon, so this was a video about that. I made 9 videos about that particular topic. and there are 5 apps in total, like 3 new apps, so go check it out. I believe that is all for today. Yeah, the live chat seems to be a little bit quiet. That's quite fine. All right, so thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care.